Slow Boat Diaries. The time is 1:16 p.m. We have entered hour 5 of our journey. The people are starting to become restless. First it was the sun. When it peaked out around noon, people started shedding layers. The stiff breeze on the water keeps things cool, but people needed something to do. When the batteries start running low, I don't know what will happen. The passing landscape is, objectively speaking, nice. But after the mountains of the north, they're nothing special. Mostly couples and old people make up the passengers. The drone of the engine sucks the thought of conversation out of the air, a constant hum that starts to lull even the most alert into a racking stupor. The blonde guy a couple rows down and across pops a mini bottle of Red Bull, the real stuff from Thailand. He looks at what can only be his girlfriend with a quizzical expression, tasting his lips, tasting like a fine wine, the aromatic composition of pure sugar and caffeine. For a moment he forgets the drone of the boat, his entire concentration enthralled in the bottle, and then it kicks in. He leads the restless people in a walk up the length of the boat. It is short-lived, as 50 feet up, and he hits the end, blocked by the captain at the helm. He looks around for a bit in his caffeine-fueled agitation. A couple others follow him, glad for an example of how to pass the minutes by. But that is all it is, and pretty soon they meander back to their respective seats. Our blonde friend, with no avenue to channel his sugar high, simply sits, staring off into space. Occasionally his girlfriend stands to get a better view, raising a camera to her eye to capture the, objectively speaking, nice landscape. This doesn't stir Blonde, who continues to stare off into space. The sedate family sitting across suddenly comes alive, previously slumbering and reading. They're all laughter and energy, taking joking photos. What must be the uncle starts playing with the chair. The son, who stands at over 6 feet, comes over from the back of the boat, drawn by the commotion. But even this subsides. The son returns to the back, the mother picks up her book, and the daughter, after taking a long sip from her water bottle, pulls out some headphones and plugs in her phone. A yawn escapes. The locals are all in front, near the captain. They sit perpendicular to us, in a long row on either side of the boat, rather than small crosswise rows like the rest of us. They've been celebrating New Year's a day early, and started on the beer Lao as soon as they were on the boat. As such, their merriment has subsided. The toll of starting day drinking at 8:30 a.m. caught up with their enthusiasm. Blonde jumps up. The Thai Red Bull has reached his bladder. That was quick. He rushes past, towards the back where the 2 toilets are. He's quickly back, though, now leaning on the railing, still staring off into space. Sunlight glistens on the rocks and sparkles in the water. The shine of the sun on the foliage gives it a warm glow. The boat creaks back and forth, weaving along the river, avoiding shallow spots and protruding rocks. A perilous voyage made worse by the damming of the Mekong by the Chinese and the relatively mild rainy season. The motor drones on. The time is 1:46 p.m. I stretch, my own restlessness getting the better of me. I shed a layer, more out of boredom than from heat. My back cracks, a satisfying feeling that hours of sitting has created. Motor slows to a putter. We pull to the bank. A long set of steps lead a gaggle of children and a few locals to the water's edge, where the boat meets them. Rice bags sit on the dock, more of a floating square made up of plastic and bamboo, no more than 200 square feet. The locals on the boat are suddenly alive, chattering with those on land. There's a quick exchange. Some disembark, others get on. The flurry of activity in front sparks some tourists' interest, prompting a few to pull out their cameras and stand up to snap a couple photos of the locals. And then, just as quick as we stopped, we're off again. The motor springing to life, a familiar drone that was not missed, but now feels right. It is the sound of progress, after all, the sound of movement, of time passing, a reminder of where we've come from and where we are going. The time is 1:57 p.m. A man with 3 ear piercings in one ear sneezes loudly. Everyone looks around. He looks kind of like he was in a heavy metal band for about a month and then thought better of it, but there's still a part of him that wants to put on that eyeliner and smash some guitars. Right on cue, Mr. Red Bull gets up. I think he needs to go to the toilet again, but turns out he just can't bear to stare into thin air from his seat anymore. So he moves about 10 feet up the railing, standing now, still staring out over the water with a blank expression. I have to pee. I'm holding it, partially from laziness, but also quite the opposite. I'm saving something to do for later, an excuse to purposely stand up and walk to the back of the boat, some entertainment to occupy a couple more minutes. The time is 2:11 p.m. The toilet is by the engine, the drone becoming a deafening roar. The engine, exposed air whirring at the back of the boat between the two toilets. The stench of petrol mixes with the smell of piss from the toilets. The doors are kept closed from the outside with a piece of string, an ingeniously simple design to keep the doors from banging around as the boat lurches from side to side. A slit of a window at eye level provides light and objectively speaking, nice view of the water and shoreline passing by. I finish and step out of the toilet, lightly banging my head on the low door frame. I remove my shoes once again, returning them to the plastic bag that was given me on boarding. Reluctantly, I make my way back to my seat. The time is 2:22 p.m.